Statue in honor of Cardinal great Pat Tillman. You look at number 11, Larry Fitzgerald. Wouldn't be surprised before it's all said and done if there's something in Larry of bronze around these parts. Time for the Insight coin toss. Insight, the official technology solutions partner of the Arizona Cardinals.
This is tails. You're the visitor. You're going to make the call. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. Tails it is. You won the toss. You're going to receive. Which way? Turn yourselves around, please.
Cards
Arizona
win the toss.
won the toss. Elects to receive.
They'll
Shake
take
hands.
the ball first. Pete Morelli, our referee tonight. Kevin Cobb, his first action in front of the home fans. Now, we did have a 13,000 up in Flagstaff for a nice little exhibition, but this with live ammo. Let's check Glenn's keys to the game, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers, serving the Valley for 90 years.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kevin Cobb get a touchdown here, get that first team offense down in the end zone. That's huge. And defense, I'd like to see some ball hawking out of this defense. Create turnovers, safeties, DBs coming up, hitting, knocking that ball loose, getting after the quarterback and stripping it, that type of thing. Let's start seeing a maturation process of this team.
See Darren College right there, free agent signee coming over from Green Bay. Last week in Green Bay, we saw Beanie Wells run with a little bit of an attitude. That's a big plus.
Oh, it's a huge plus. It's that next step for him. We know he's got power. We know he's got the nice straight arm and he can run. But what we haven't seen is kind of a nastiness, and he brought that out of himself a little bit in Green Bay.
Much to the delight of fifth-year head coach Ken Wisenhunt. And the man on the other sideline, Norv Turner. Been very successful in San Diego. They've been on quite a run, but they missed the playoffs a year ago. Led the NFL in offense and in total defense, but were just atrocious in special teams.
Yeah, and you talk, the main thing is 3 areas of the game. They're all even. And here we go. You start it with special teams, don't you?
Fans inside excited. Nate Kading getting ready to kick it off. Third preseason game for San Diego and Arizona. Glenn, in your 12 years, did you ever see somebody have such a big game in game number 3 that they almost came from the back of the pack to grab a roster spot?
Yeah, and I have seen that. You particularly with maybe an offensive lineman, somebody goes down a little tweak, and you bring in a guy that's never really got reps, all of a sudden he's great. He might jump somebody. That does happen. And it's usually due to an injury, not a severe one, but enough that someone can get in and get some playing time.
Rod Stevens howling, the deep man for the Cardinals, and we're underway in Arizona. Howling will bring it out from a couple yards deep, looking for a little room and cut down right near the 15. Richard Goodman, the backup wide receiver with a special teams tackle. Kevin Cobb, biggest news in the NFL. Once all the labor situation died down, Arizona really went to the forefront. You think of Arizona and Philadelphia made the biggest splash news-wise.
Oh, and in Arizona going after Kevin Cobb, they ID'd their guy, and they opened their books and said, hey, we got to have you. And when you're able to go out and land the big fish that you wanted, boy, that certainly helps across the board.
Beanie Wells is the back. Tight ends Todd Heap and King go to the right side of the formation. Now Heap goes in motion. And Cobb will go to the air on first down, throw in the direction of Larry Fitzgerald. Larry breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet, and up to the 35-yard line.
He just makes it look easy, doesn't he? I tell you, Kevin Cobb, that play alone is enough for him to say, this is exactly why I came here. 3-step drop, slant into the second window. San Diego did a nice job actually dropping a guy into that route. Cobb saw it, got it to Fitz, and boy, you see the run after the catch for Fitz.
Yeah, those two have spent a lot of time out on the practice field trying to get in sync, and they're finding it early. Gain of 19. Beanie Wells with the carry. Gets the corner and has some room, and Beanie twirls his way up to the 45. Antoine Cason with the tackle for the Chargers.
He gets the first down because he puts his shoulder down. He might, you take a look when he rounds this corner. Great hook blocks by tight end. Get a good block, but when he puts his shoulder down here, yeah, it doesn't knock anybody down, but it's the momentum that gets him the second, that last extra yard to get the first down. That's what they want to see out of him. Did he look for the sideline or did he go straight ahead? He went straight ahead.
Now that's the point, Glenn, that you've made, that There were times when he used to look for that sideline, and you have not seen that throughout the first 2 games of the preseason or so far here tonight. Opening drive. Cardinals took the ball after they won the toss. Cobb back to the air, right behind Doucette, incomplete. Check tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Cobb listening in, getting the play from the sideline. 2nd and 10 following the incompletion. Moya the fullback, Wells the deep back. 2nd and 10. Beanie stood up and knocked down immediately. For legit, the rookie first-round draft pick out of Illinois left the Illini after his junior season. He gets to start tonight for the Cardinals. That one looked a little bit disjointed from the start.
Yeah, you had a man come free. When somebody comes free, somebody else gets a nice tackle. And Collegiate actually was the beneficiary of someone else coming free.
Loss of 1, 3rd and 11. Doucette goes in motion. Cobb steps out of the way of pressure. He's going to move, flipped it in the direction of Beanie, and it's incomplete. An incomplete pass. Antoine Barnes came and applied pressure. Cobb and Wisenhunt visit on the sideline. Another look, Glenn.
Well, protection here is pretty good. He gets run by. He's looking downfield. Now, you know, the thing is he kept his eyes downfield for the majority of that play. That's what you like to see. You don't want to see a guy just take off for the stands. You don't want to see a quarterback who just, when he pulls, goes. He's keeping his eyes down the field.
Brian Walters back deep. Graham on to punt. Walters with room from the 9. Grabbed around the ankle and dropped at the 15. 48-yard punt. 7 on the return. Schofield with the special teams tackle. Chargers' first offensive possession of the night when we come back to Arizona. Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. 54th consecutive sellout. They've known nothing but since they opened the building. That counts preseason, regular season. They've had some of the great postseason games in NFL history here. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, their first offensive possession. Ball's tipped and then caught. Tipped and then hauled in. Darrell Washington got a hand on it. And it's Malcolm Floyd who grabs the rebound.
Yeah, and this is what we talked right in the open. We said pressure on the quarterback will cause the ball to float. He gets nothing on that ball. The hand gets on it. That ball's up. You know, that's just one of those things. Guys are around it. The receiver is in the perfect place at the perfect time.
Good for 16. You see Rivers' numbers a year ago. 4,710 yards, a new career high for Rivers. Now in his 8th year as the signal caller for the Chargers. And on first down, pass is complete to the tight end, Randy McMichael. Paris Lennon with the tackle for Arizona. Check the Chargers starting lineup, brought to you by Bud Light, sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Here we go.
Well, you look at San Diego, and through the last, almost decade, offensively, they have been phenomenal. Matthews and Hester in the backfield. Rivers going back to the air in the direction of Floyd again, incomplete. Darnell Dockett, your man from Florida State, and a look at the Cardinal defensively on the starting lineup. Look at Kerry Rhodes, Darrell Washington starting to make a name for himself, the linebacker position, second-year man out of TCU. Third down and the home crowd making some noise. 3rd and 3. Bunch formation to the left. Now the center receiver in motion. Rivers for some room. Tipped and incomplete off the hands of Antonio Gates. You will not see him miss many, but it's incomplete. San Diego will punt.
Well, impressed just with the amount of pressure, the amount of push a four-man rush is getting for the Cardinals. It's disrupting the pass game. You take a look here, all they're doing is bringing four, but they're getting pressure, and Phillip Rivers cannot follow through, cannot step through that pass. That ball floats on him a bit. Antonio Gates, no matter how tall he is, can't get it.
Cypher's punt. Peterson fields it at the 10. Has a little room, accelerates, and Peterson showing the flash that made him this year's first-round draft pick. Gets it out near the 35. 51-yard punt, 24 on an electric return.
Well, what makes that special? Why is it special? One cut. He's running to daylight. He's not dancing. He's going north and south, finding one small sliver of room and going. A great punt return is when you catch the ball and don't fumble it. You get yardage, any plus yardage, it's a great punt return.
A chance to meet the Cardinals players and coaches. The 2011 Cardinals kickoff luncheon is Tuesday at the University of Phoenix Stadium. For more information, 602-379-1691, or you can always go online to azcardinals.com. Beanie Wells shakes a defender in the backfield, uses a stiff arm, and gets up near the 40. 5 yards for Beanie. Did that one on his own.
Well, yeah, you know, you pull back side, and what happened is big Darren College kind of tripped coming out, and when he did, there was no block for Beanie. Beanie had to make something out of nothing.
Numbers early for Beanie, 3 carries, 14 yards as we check San Diego's defense. Cobb to the air on 2nd and 5. Look in the direction of Fitzgerald, incomplete. Near the 25, Quentin Jammer was right in Fitzgerald's hip pocket. Those two have been doing this in the NFL for a long time. Jammer, 10th-year man out of Texas.
That, you know what, I like the throw, though. He realized what he had, where the safety was. Kevin Cobb puts it up where only his guy's going to get it. No one's going to take it. Take a look at this coverage. You know, Quentin Jammer is a longtime pro for a reason. Had his eyes in the backfield and was right in the hip pocket the entire time. Larry's fast, but it's tough to get much separation against a guy like that.
Jammer, former first-round pick, 10 seasons in blue and gold. 3rd and 5, empty backfield, 5 wides. Cobb going back to the well again, incomplete, and here comes the flag. Jammer got caught. Larry had him beat. Jammer had to hold on.
Looked like he grabbed his left arm, keeping it down behind him. Here comes a look. You look at the top of your screen. I think he just gets a whole bunch of that on that. Grabbed it with 2 hands, as a matter of fact.
Hey, you got to be sure. Kevin Cobb pleading his case. There we go.
Well, with a guy like Larry, he doesn't break stride. So if he breaks stride, you see there's obviously something going on. It's easy to see. There's a loss of fluidity. So the official can go, hey, what's going on there?
And your point is that not only does it not break stride going straight, he doesn't break stride going in and out of cuts, which is something interesting to watch when you had talked about the great receivers you'd been around in your career. Wells on 1st down from the Charger 40. And he trying to muscle his way down near the 35, just shy of that mark. Keo Spikes, 14-year veteran, signed as an unrestricted free agent from San Francisco with the tackle for the Chargers. Anthony Sherman. This guy might be well, since camp is broken, do you get to be, what's your title for that? Are you all camp? Are you the camp hero? He's a guy who really opened some eyes.
You can get all camp.
All camp?
All camp team.
Well, he's going to do more than just be all camp team, but he really has done a number, and we've seen him on special teams in the preseason as well.
Well, that's where he'll make his mark. Special teams will get him a spot, and after that, then he can keep going.
2nd and 6, Cobb with pressure to Heat, and it's down to the 20.
And that's something that hasn't been seen at the quarterback spot since Kurt Warner left. The willingness to take a shot. He knows he's going to take the hit. He delivers the ball anyways by keeping his eyes down the field and getting the ball out of his hands. Beanie Wells, incredible inside. Picks up the linebacker coming.
Todd Heat played collegiately right here at Arizona State. Excited to be part of the Cardinals. Sprained thumb, did not play last week in Green Bay, but number 86 make his presence known here as Wells gets the carry, and Beanie down to the 17. Eric Weddle with the tackle for San Diego.
Why do running backs have a hard time in the NFL? He ran the ball, he picked up a dogging linebacker, and now he just ran the ball again. It's not getting easier for Beanie Wells out there physically.
And that's a position you think of last week. Ryan Williams goes down with a knee injury, second-round pick, out for the season for Arizona. Will Arizona be in the market as cuts start getting to be made to try to pick up somebody who can help out in the backfield so it's not Beanie's load 100%? On second down, Cobb with a dart incomplete at the 5. Cobb really wound up and fired in the direction of Jeff King. Donald Butler had the coverage on King, the sixth-year man who was acquired from Carolina.
Yeah, this is the time of year you talk about maybe being in the market. They're in the market for anybody that can help them. Every team is.
Sure.
They look around, they say who's released. They have scouts at every pro game scouting the professional players who might not make that team. See what's out there.
Roberts in motion. Sherman and Wells in the backfield. 3rd and 7. Cobb buys a little time, throws on the run, incomplete. Batted away. Andre Roberts had his hand on it for a moment. Jammer got in there and swatted it away.
Well, good mobility, kept his eyes down the field. You know, Kevin Cobb is doing the things that I think that they expected him to do at this point. He doesn't have to be brilliant. He's got to be good, and right now he looks good.
Jay Feely on for a 36-yard field goal. Ben Graham will hold it. Snaps down, kicks away. 7:48 to go in the first quarter. Arizona at home for the first time in 2011 gets on the board first. Cardinals leading the Chargers 3-0 by way of Feely's foot. Timeout. Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson, and the Cardinals leading the Chargers 3-0. For every successful Cardinals field goal, Cigna will make a generous contribution to Cardinals Charities, benefiting the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Jay Feely doing a little work on the ball. Hester and Goodman back deep for the Chargers. Goodman will bring it out. 10, 15 straight ahead, breaks the tackle to the outside across the 30, and Feely tackles him shy of the 40. We'll be back with more. Chargers have the football. 7:41 to go, first quarter. The learning continues for Kevin Cobb. Cardinals leading the Chargers 3-0. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. It's Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson down on the sidelines. Second offensive possession for San Diego. Ryan Matthews, the deep back, and on first down, Matthews will get the carry, and he gets stuffed. Absolutely stuffed. Clark Hagens with the tackle.
You'll see right here, Clark Hagens off the right comes up unblocked. That forces the running back straight back into Darrell Washington coming in the backside A-gap. You make a lot of plays, somebody forgets to block you.
12th season at Colorado State. Joey Porter on the other side, year number 13, another former Colorado State Ram.
And you know the difference is, a lot of guys in that position miss the tackle. That's why he's been around long. He makes the plays he's supposed to make.
Call a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Rivers changing things at the line. Here comes pressure. Rivers steps up, and it's incomplete. Flag down right across midfield. Threw it in the direction of Malcolm Floyd. A.J. Jefferson. Did he get there too soon?
Well, the official certainly thought he did, and that's really all that matters. We'll take a look. coming right into your screen. You can actually see it right here. Does he get there early? His arm does hit him over the top.
A.J. Jefferson locked in that cornerback battle. Marshall, Greg Toller, Patrick Peterson, and A.J. Jefferson. Start looking at guys who are going to need to do some things to really separate themselves on a consistent basis to grab those spots.
Hey, what a great problem to have. I got 4 guys that can play corner. I got a couple guys that can play safety when Adrian Wilson's not around. I'll take that problem.
Holding was the call. First down for San Diego. Cardinals rush 4. Rivers dumps it off. And they'll be able to get up near midfield. Mike Tolbert, 5'9", 243. You look at Tolbert and Ryan Matthews. Does San Diego go to a little bit of a combo running combination this year? For so long, it was all of Danian Tomlinson.
Yeah, you obviously that's what they want to do. You want to save the wear and tear, but keep a fresh set of legs coming at you so you got a little more speed. Most teams are doing something of the kind now, unless they just have a horse they can go to.
Matthews alone back. 2nd and 3 from midfield. Matthews got the first down and more, but he lost the ball. Loss of football, and they're going to spot it at the 41 or 42. San Diego recovered. Lucky break. Nick Hardwick, the center. Downfield, falling on the football.
Now you see, okay, here's a great job by Arizona stripping that ball. Here, watch the arm come in. Gets enough of it. That's a great job by Calais Campbell. Real long arms, get around behind. But you know what? Right there, Nick Hardwick trains every day when the ball goes downfield to hustle after the ball. That's what you're taught to do as an offensive lineman. He practiced it over and over. When the ball was on the ground, where was he? Right where he'd been coached to be. It's not luck. It's doing what you're told you're supposed to be doing.
First down at 42. Tolbert looking for room. Escapes the first level. Down to the 36. Cardinals scoring drive was powered by Santan Ford. Santan Ford and the Arizona Cardinals. We do this together. 8 plays, 48 yards. And Feely knocks it in from 36 yards. And then we can't forget, after the field goal, Feely made the tackle on the kickoff return.
Yes, he did. Had his gloves on and wrapped up. Not bad for a 35-year-old guy.
2nd and 5, Tolbert. And the Cardinals ready this time.
You have to like what you see out of the Cardinals defense. Ball's been on the ground. A pass has been tipped. The quarterback's been harried. There's been a lot going on here. Let's take a look here. What I want you to see, these gaps. These gap areas are where the ball needs to go. Watch the color fill gaps. There's color everywhere. There's nowhere for a running back to go. That's what you talk about gaps. You say, well, what is a gap? Well, that big wide open spot is a gap. And when there's a red jersey sitting in it, the running back hesitates.
Greg Toller down on the field for Arizona. We'll check his condition when we come back. More in a moment. Another sellout at University of Phoenix Stadium. Cardinals leading the Chargers 3-0. Introducing the new Sports Lovers package from Cox. It's the ultimate home field advantage. To order, visit Cox.com today. On 3rd and short, pass is tipped and incomplete. Rivers going in the direction of Brian Walters. Clark Haggins again with the tip. Another look at what happened the previous play to Cardinal cornerback Greg Toller.
Yeah, you know, Greg Toller, you got a great spot. He's the only guy in the frame. He just stops. And when he stops, something goes. And whether it's a click, whether it's a pop, who knows? No speculation. You just don't know what the injury is. He's down getting looked at. But it scares you when you see a guy you're going to really count on go down with an injury like that.
Nate Kading on for a field goal from 52. Plenty of distance. And Kading ties it at 3. 4:08 to go first quarter. We'll be back with more preseason game number 3 from Arizona. 4:08 to go first quarter. University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson on the Arizona Cardinals television network. Not too late to be part of the action at University of Phoenix Stadium. A limited amount of Cardinals season tickets are still available. To secure your seats, please call 602-379-0102 or go online to azcardinals.com. Protect the nest. 3 straight home games. Tonight, Thursday against Denver, and then the season opener against Carolina. Good to be back in the nest. Rod Stevens howling. Let this one bounce through the back of the end zone. Cardinals will get the football start at the 20. So a nice long stretch for the home fans. Check out the 2011 edition of the Cardinals.
Well, absolutely. It's a great advantage. And when you look at 54 straight sellouts in the stadium, you know, I don't know if you recall, the Cardinals used to play over in Tempe. It was hot. It was tough. They needed this building to be built. And Michael Bidwill got it built, and when that happened, the dynamic of this team changed, because now you could have home games early in the year when it's hot and fans pack this place and really give you an advantage.
Do set the motion man. Cobb to the air on first down. Batted away, incomplete. Went in the direction of Roberts. Antoine Cason, fourth-year man out of Arizona, broke on the ball and knocked it away. 2 good corners in Jammer and Cason.
Very good, and Cobb does a good job of looking off, coming back, but Cason is not giving up anything. He stayed real tight coverage, you know, and the thing is, that cushion, he wasn't given any cushion in man over there, so he was real tight on. If this had been a zone, there would have been a nice opportunity to throw that, but against man, there was no space.
Back to the air on 2nd and 10, and Fitzgerald is open, and Larry's got it over his shoulder. He's off to the races. Weddle giving chase. No contest. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Kevin Cobb gives that pump, just trying to get the safety to hesitate one step, and that's all Larry Fitzgerald needs. Quentin Jammer cannot keep close, or Antoine Cason, excuse me, and Eric Weddle, no way is he going to catch him if he's not on him to begin with.
I think the fans in Arizona could get used to watching 4 to 11. $80 yards. Cobb to Fitzgerald. Feely makes it 10-3 Cardinals.
And a big monkey just got off that back right there. You get that first touchdown, that first big play like that, and I'll tell you, it makes it all come into focus a little for you better. A little better for you.
That passing touchdown, Cobb to Fitzgerald. Wells Fargo donates $500 to the Team Up for Schools Fund, which donates money to local public schools. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
You get another look. Good protection. That's key. It all starts there. And then, you know, when you see double ones and a lot of hair flying down the field, I tell you, throw it out there. Give it to them.
With that, Glenn, I can hear the phone lines buzzing for season tickets.
Oh, if you don't have them now, you better get them.
The Cardinals have done everything you could hope for if this is your team coming into this year. Now you look, they won back-to-back NFC West Division championships. 2008, 2009, we all remember the Super Bowl. Last year an off year, and they weren't just going to sit and say, well, let's just see how it plays out. You went out and got the people you needed to get back and compete for division championship, and then some. Goodman and knocked down shy of the 20. Welcome in Double J's, Jody Jackson.
Well, guys, an update on cornerback Greg Toller, who left the
about the depth and having 4 guys fighting for it, and we talked about the wide receiver battle, D tackles. Tells you how much work went into building this team when you got that many guys vying for the spot and you can't come up with a consensus as to who's the best.
Matthews on first down with the carry for San Diego. Darnell Dockett, 8th-year man from Florida State, first Cardinal jersey in. Ryan Matthews, second-year player out of Fresno State's battled injuries. Figured out a way to stay healthy, and that you say that about a variety of players. And look, this is a game that's not built to keep people healthy.
It isn't, but guys make it a long time. Some guys, and they have the work ethic, they have maybe it's their nutrition. For whatever reason, some guys just handle it better than others do.
2nd down and 5. Matthews caught in the backfield and dropped.
I'll tell you what, Daryl Washington was not fooled. He watched Ghost come over the top. All you have to do really is watch him. He sees Ghost motion coming behind, and he's not going to bite. He comes right into the play, sees the handoff because he was paying attention, and is there to meet it.
To your point, sure tackle.
Oh, got to make the plays you're supposed to.
Picked off. Patrick Peterson's first theft, and he's looking for 6, and he's got it. Touchdown, Arizona.
Well, this is why they brought him in. There's pressure up. That ball is thrown into a crowd. Now, I'll tell you what Patrick Peterson does well there. He's in coverage. His eyes are in the backfield. And when he sees that ball, he breaks off his coverage and is a hawk to that thing to get it. Look how Larry Fitzgerald likes what he sees out of the rook.
Now, let's look at that at a different level as you look at Peterson, first-round pick, first DB to win Defensive Player of the Year award in college football, the Bednarik Award. First defensive back since Charles Woodson, who we saw last week in Green Bay. Defensive Player of the Year, showing some flashes there. But how about Larry Fitzgerald's reaction? Already been in the league 8 years. Signs an 8-year extension. Michael Bidwill talked about this in the pregame show with Jody about what a class individual he is and how much he cares about the organization. This is preseason game number 3. And if you've been around for 8 years and are one of the best players in the game, you could be sitting on the bench ho-humming a rookie's pick 6 return and saying, look, it's not the regular season, it doesn't count. I think his reaction tells you a lot about number 11.
You could be, and you wouldn't be number 11, and you wouldn't have the contract you have right now, and you wouldn't be a future Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, he is that guy. He's excited. He likes what they're doing here. And I'll tell you, I've worked around a lot of professional athletes once I retired, and he's as classy as they come and as good as they come.
That's got to feel good for Patrick Peterson. You were down on the field, or coming out to the field earlier today. Relay the story about people working in the stadium, what they had to say to the young players.
These guys had never been here. A lot of these rookies never even been here. They were coming in the door, and workers were having to point the way to the locker room for the young guys. You got to go down there. It's on the left.
Walter's going to bring it out deep in the end zone. Walter's looking for room and able to snake his way up near the 20. Sam Acho, the rookie, with the special teams tackle.
Well, here you're going to look just at the pressure on Phillips. There's Dockett's coming in his face. And that he hasn't thrown the ball well all night, but with that pressure, now take a look at Peterson coming back in, leaving his assignment once the ball's in the air and hawking on that thing and grabbing it. Tell you what, Patrick Peterson, for his size and with the speed, is going to be a very exciting addition to this team. We saw it in special teams already. Now we see it on defense.
Preseason game number 3, we've already seen him get more and more comfortable as a pro. Cardinals with the commanding lead in total yards. Matthews the back, he'll get the carry. And Ryan Matthews back. We'll give him a yard. David Carter, 6th round pick, with the tackle.
And I'll tell you, David Carter pressing for playing time. He and Dan Williams battling it out in there, and you know, you see it with him. He runs well down the line of scrimmage. Really good at fighting off the blockers and holding his gaps.
Defensive line's another area that you have your eye on with regard to position battles.
Well, yeah, because you just don't know how many they plan on keeping, and with that in place, every spot becomes precious.
2nd and 10. It was over the middle, complete. Across the 35. Vincent Jackson, 7th-year man out of Northern Colorado with the catch.
San Diego, obviously, they want to be able to get their offense in some sort of rhythm. If it's important for the Cardinals in Game 3 of the preseason, it's important to the Chargers too. Every team is kind of pointing to this game and saying, this is where we got to have some semblance of a team moving forward.
Under a minute to go, first quarter. Rivers to the sideline. Toe tap is good. Malcolm Floyd, 6th-year man from Wyoming. Floyd and Jackson and Rivers been together a long time in San Diego.
Well, it starts, you know, you always say it starts up front. It does. Not enough pressure this time, and that ball can find that little window in the zone behind the corner in front of the safety.
The Cardinal 48. Tolbert. David Carter again, rookie making some noise.
Well, yeah, you know, he sniffs it out, and he beats the block across his face. Just keep an eye on him here. All he's going to do is sniff this out and beat the block. And that's, you know, it doesn't take much. It takes understanding your assignment and shedding blocks. And that's what a defensive tackle has to do, and he's got to be tough at it. And David Carter showing up again, 2nd time in 1 drive.
But right in front of Tyrone Green, and a little knife in there and make the tackle, and it'll be our final play of the first quarter here in Arizona. University of Phoenix Stadium has seen some highlights tonight. Larry Fitzgerald with a little excitement, Patrick Peterson and Cobb with the deep ball back at the start of the 2nd quarter.
And welcome back. Cardinals leading the Chargers here at University of Phoenix Stadium. Jody Jackson down on the field, and we've talked a lot about how this Cardinals team has been put together. Well, Steve Keim, director of player personnel, he is a big part of it. He's done his job for the Cardinals for a number of years from the East Coast, but now he's relocated to Arizona, something that President Michael Bidwell loves.
Bringing Steve in-house and bringing him into the training facility every day was one of our biggest off-season moves. It's really important to have him there so that when we have, you know, an issue where we're looking day by day, for example, at whether we bring in a running back to replace Ryan Williams, and you know, when we do that and who that is, having him right there and a part of all the conversations we're having is immeasurably important.
And you can imagine, guys, how important it was during the flurry of moves after the lockout ended.
Indeed, Jody, thank you. Rivers on 3rd down. It's going to be complete, good for a 1st down and maybe more. Down the right sideline, finally getting knocked out of bounds. Vincent Jackson with the good catch and run. Darrell Washington saved the touchdown.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson fell down, and you'll take it, watch to your left-hand side. When this ball gets in, you'll see Patrick Peterson on the ground. He had slipped on the turf, then he got up, and he slips again coming back. That creates the separation, but hey, really impressive. Look at the speed. Darrell Washington's a linebacker, and he's flying, and he gets that shot in. Tell you what, Vincent Jackson, he likes it. He wishes it counted, though. Wishes it wasn't in the preseason.
Matthews, the deep back. Rivers instead to the end zone for Gates. Touchdown, San Diego. He beat Rashad Johnson. Antonio Gates, a Pro Bowl tight end with separation and a score for San Diego.
Well, yeah, he's going up against the safety. He finds the hole, you know, he gets behind Rashad Johnson and in front of Kerry Rhodes. There's that window back there, and he's such a good target for Phillip Rivers that you almost feel like you got to really smash him around to keep him from getting out into the pattern.
Kading for the point after. 13:44 to go in the first half. Rivers and the Bolts bounce back to make it a 7-point game. Back with more of preseason game number 3 after this. Welcome back to Arizona. 13:44 to go in the first half. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Just under 15 minutes to go before halftime. We remind you that 15 minutes could save you 15% on your car insurance. Visit geico.com today. I'm thinking back to the start of the show.
Don't hurt yourself.
And you had a couple keys to the game.
I did.
And you're looking really smart right now.
Well, don't
get smug.
It was the Glenn Parker / Tim Delaney keys to the game, and you wanted to see Kevin Cobb and that offense get a touchdown, and they did so. You wanted to see the defense hawk the ball, and they did so. So, it's a pretty simple game, and you kind of know the progression after a while, and that was something you really wanted to see happen, wanted to see it occur, and it did. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
As well you should. Rod Stevens-Howling with the return, led the NFL in return yardage a season ago, 26 yards on that return. Kevin Cobb seeing extended action tonight. Jody talked about what Michael Bidwell, Steve Keim, and everybody have done. Their job is far from over with cuts and things being made moving forward. They were really busy at the start of this. They're going to be extremely busy as teams start making cuts, as Beanie Wells gets the carry. You talked a little bit about that before we went on tonight, that as people start trimming and you look at somebody's going to get cut just out of a numbers game, there's going to be some pieces out there for the taking.
Oh, you're going to look around, you're going to see a starter or two in every division will be dropped. It's just going to happen. So they've got a scout at every game. They've got pro scouts that are looking at pro personnel to see who's going to be on the street. And come Tuesday, when the cuts are made, they're going to have to go back out, reevaluate, and see who they want to bring in.
Cobb on 2nd and 4. Doucette with the catch and a little room to run up near the 45-yard line. You like to see that out of early Doucette, who has shown flashes. He gets plus 20 on that one. Has battled injuries throughout his career, changed his number, and felt, this is my time.
Yeah, and it's just a little sit down, but then you make someone miss. You make a play, because that's what you have to do when you're a receiver battling for a spot with 9 other guys out there. It's easy to fall on the turf there after you've got the ball. It's tough to turn and get going.
Play action on 1st down. Cobb to Heap. And Heap will move the chains again for the Cardinals. Donald Butler trying to cover the 2-time Pro Bowl tight end. 467 career catches in the NFL.
Well, he just sneaks out, and by the time Butler realizes that he's crossed his face, he's 5 yards cushion away from him. Heap does a great job. It's kind of an oh boy block. It's one of those things. I make it look like I'm blocking, and then all of a sudden Butler's going, oh boy, I'm behind him.
A lot of excitement in Cardinal camp. I don't know that anybody had a bigger smile on his face for longer than Todd Heap. Fitzgerald with a pitch and catch, and Fitzgerald across the 35.
Well, if you're gonna be in soft zone, look at that cushion. Antoine Cason's bailing. That's a 9-yard cushion. Get it? You just run the smoke. You just turn and throw it to him and say, get what you can. Now, Antoine Cason's between a rock and a hard place there, because if he comes up man, he's against a guy taller than him and every bit as fast with no help over the top. But if he keeps that deep cushion, he can get beat for 9.
Fitzgerald 3 catches, 108 yards and a touchdown. A little razzle-dazzle here. Roberts on the reverse. Andre Roberts finding some room, and he'll get in for a touchdown.
Well, you go reverse, but now watch up top. Watch Larry Fitzgerald blocking on the edge. Look at Cobb. Look at Lyle Sendeline. Those are guys moving. Look at the big boys hustling out there. Tell you what, Roberts, nice job setting blocks up and getting where he had to be.
Andre Roberts, second season of the Citadel. Certainly shown some things in this preseason, and the Cardinals now lead San Diego 24-10. 11:09 to go in the first half. Wells to Roberts, touchdown Cardinals. Andre Roberts having some fun on the sideline, talking to Larry Fitzgerald. His run makes it 24-10 Arizona. Look for the Cards Ultimate Fan Cave contest coming soon exclusively to the Room Store. Be sure to register at any Room Store location for a chance to win. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson, and a whole lot of action at University of Phoenix Stadium. Feely to send it away. Goodman is going to take a knee.
Hey, I want you to watch the misdirection. As everybody gets going, look at the linebackers. Everybody bites. When that happens, that allows all your offensive linemen to feather back out and get in front of them. It's a way of getting big, slow guys in the right position to make a block. Great job by Andre Roberts setting it all up, too.
Now you talked about Larry Fitzgerald out there making the block. I imagine your job as a head coach and an assistant gets a lot easier when your best player is one of your hardest workers and your most enthusiastic.
Absolutely, it does. You know, a team's easy to build if your best players happen to be your leaders.
Matthews with the carry for the Chargers. David Carter again. He's had a big night. 6'5", 300 pounds, and he's shown some foot speed on the interior tonight. Good motor, Glenn.
Yeah.
San Diego, 9 rushes, just 19 yards.
Well, they're going to keep working it throughout the course of the night, but they definitely want a little more game planning, a little more switching things up.
Hester with the reception out of the backfield, and he'll get 3 yards up near the 23. Sure, if you're San Diego, you know what Phillip Rivers can do. Rivers now 9 of 13 after that completion. Trying to develop the other parts. How much more game planning, preseason game number 3, as opposed to just the matchups?
Way more than you did the first 2, but still not a lot.
Okay.
You're not putting in a full game plan. You're doing situational game planning. You're putting in some things you want to work on. But that screen right there was a way of running the ball. That's simply a run. It just didn't work for him.
3rd down and 7. San Diego 1 for 4 on 3rd down. Rivers complete, and we'll have to check the spot. This will be close.
I think he got a pretty generous spot there, and they're going to be good. I think they're going to give him the first.
Brian Walters out of Cornell with the catch. An Ivy League man in the NFL.
An Ivy Leaguer out of Ithaca, New York there, huh? Well, he does just get over the line. He takes a good shot for his troubles, but gets himself the first. Remember, the more plays that your offense has to convert on, the more plays that they have to go to score, becomes much more difficult to get the ball in the end zone.
Rivers with the deep ball, incomplete. On the right sideline, Vincent Jackson covered by A.J. Jefferson. Second-year man from Fresno State.
Well, you know, this is a big preseason for him. And he needed to come in and really show what he could do, and so far he's doing it. So far we've seen a lot of him this preseason, and generally it's been in a very good light.
He appeared in a couple games last year. 2nd and 10. Tolbert plows his way through the defense, just shy of the 40. Sam Acho, the rookie from Texas, with the tackle. Mike Tolbert from Coastal Carolina. See his numbers, 5'9", 243.
That is a wow, it's coming at you.
Yes.
That's like a cement hedgehog.
The other wow that used to be in San Diego colors, Darren Sproles, is now in New Orleans. That's a big loss for this offense.
It is, and because it gave you so many options come 3rd down.
3rd down and 1. Didn't look like Tolbert got it.
And I'll tell you, the penetration by Calais Campbell, when he gets through and makes Tolbert kind of skitter his feet, he can't get him restarted. And all that red showed up to get the tackle.
You touched on the defensive line and the competition, and not only competition on Arizona's roster, but quality competition, which really forces everybody to raise their level of play.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's like this. You don't know how many they're going to keep. Are they going to keep 3? Are they going to keep 6? You don't know, because you don't know what they decide with special teams and what roster spot eventually opens for them.
Patrick Peterson fields it on a bounce. 7:31 to go in the first half. Cardinals and the Chargers. We have a timeout. Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Cardinals leading the Chargers 24-10. There we are, back in our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Wave, Glenn, be friendly.
I'm waving, being friendly.
Fun night.
A great night. Good to be back in the nest. You know, the fans going crazy. Just a good spot to watch football.
Cobb's numbers, 6 of 12.
Got an exciting game. A lot of big plays.
Week 3 of the preseason. Denver on Thursday, and then Carolina comes to town to start the regular season. Beanie Wells carry on 1st down. Cesar with the tackle for San Diego. 3rd year for Beanie Wells, former 1st-round pick out of Ohio State. It's a big year for Beanie.
It is. It's a chance for him to prove that he's a workhorse, that he wants the ball 25 times a game, that he can be the guy they thought he was. And if he can do that, he can set himself up.
11 carries, 44 yards a week ago against Green Bay. Cobb, a little flip. And Beanie got it. Like Beanie also got a little face mask. No flag on the play. Beanie up near the 20.
Okay, you got pressure, but once again, Kevin Cobb looking upfield. Now, earlier in the game, they tried this same thing. Beanie wasn't ready. This time, you notice Beanie Wells kept his eyes on the quarterback, ready for a scramble drill. That ball was right to him. That's an adjustment made right in game time. We saw it earlier, and Beanie wasn't quite ready. This time, Beanie was there and ready for it. Get yourself a few yards, live to fight for 3rd down.
3rd and 4. Doucette in motion. Cobb from the gun. Flag flies. Cobb complete. Doucette coming back. Across the 25. Quentin Jammer had the coverage. We'll check the penalty.
Good point here. It's going to be defensive offsides.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. The result of the penalty is a 1st down.
And a good point here is, Kevin Cobb's new here. Beanie Wells and Kevin Cobb haven't always played together. That's just part of understanding who's who. Really, Doucette, great job. Same route he ran on the large game the last time. This time, though, he's on the ground, but gets that first.
1st down from the 26. Hold everything.
Brandon Keith, the right tackle, just bumped up a little bit. He's kind of big at 335 pounds, so when he bumps up a little bit, that's like a hurricane swell. It's not real small.
Ken Wisenhunt talked about you're minus 1,000 snaps.
Yeah.
No mini camp, no OTAs. You got to start at the end of July. You're really down 1,000 snaps, and if anybody could have used the snaps, it's the Cardinals with all the new faces.
Well, you got a new quarterback, so that means you've got a new cadence, and you've got your offensive line listening to a new cadence and a new, I would say, overall philosophy. There's a lot going on in a very short period of time, and really you need that constant reminder in your head as an offensive lineman of the cadence your quarterback uses. You really get used to that. You really get set into that. When it goes away, trust me, it's not easy to get back.
You used the analogy with Cobb of learning a new offense to learning a new language.
Right.
And that I thought it was interesting. You said you just start to think in that language. You no longer has to translate. Therefore, it's automatic to you.
Yeah, and it's faster, and you get the ball off quicker. And
Pressure on 2nd and 15. Cobb throws it away. Dante Hughes came on the blitz. There's spikes in the backfield as well, and Cobb adjusting.
Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, starting to open up a little bit, get some things. He doesn't want Kevin Cobb standing back there and being able to find Larry, being able to find early Doucette. He's starting to bring it at him a little more.
Well, Minuski, your old teammate from Kansas City.
Absolutely, and a guy that was made his living as a special teamer. That's how he made it. He was a linebacker, but he was a special teamer and really a team captain as well.
3rd and 15. Chargers send 4. Cobb on the move, surveying, and now going to be caught and dropped near the 25. Tried to keep his eyes downfield and find somebody to throw it to, and Antoine Barnes, 50-year man out of Florida International, just closed the gap.
Yeah, no, he did exactly what you want from your quarterback. Scramble, keep your eye down the field, but unfortunately with the scramble, Joel, it's defense played it well, understood it. We're in every passing lane he had.
I like your line, Glenn, about defense gets to run forward. Nobody on offense from linemen, quarterbacks, we're going backward. Graham gets it away. Walters muffs it and able to fall on it right near the 30. 45-yard punt. No return for the Chargers. Walters lucky to get that one back. 4:43 to go in the first half.
Second quarter here at University of Phoenix Stadium. Cardinals up 24-10 on the Chargers, and the defense playing very well. New defensive coordinator Ray Horton knows what he wants to do. He's trying to figure out the best way to execute it. For the Oakland game, he was up in the booth. For the Green Bay game, down on the field. Now today he's back up in the booth calling the defense. He said, I don't want to ask what happened, I want to be able to see what happened. So he's made the decision, at least to this point, to stick up in the booth, guys, as we approach the regular season.
Thank you, Jody. I would imagine some things could get lost in translation in the middle of battle. Glenn Matthews with the carry, flag down.
There are those who prefer to be down there, and they usually are emotional. They want to be a part of the emotion. That's how they govern themselves. But then there's those that are more analytical, and they like to be up top where the game looks to them like their play sheets, the X's and O's that they see. They want to be a little more detached from the game in order to be maybe a little more, I guess, with an overall strategy. It's a different philosophy. It still gets the job done. Me, I'm an X's and O's guy. I want to be up top.
I think what gets lost on a lot of people is how fast things move. Now, if you're just sitting back watching it all unfold in front of you, it doesn't seem that fast. When you have to think 2 and 3 plays ahead and anticipate, there's a lot going through the minds of coordinators and coaches. Pass complete. Vincent Jackson again on the catch. Patrick Peterson trying to cover. Number 83, Vincent Jackson. He's a good one, 7 years in the league.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson did a nice job, though. He had a big cushion, and he did exactly what you expect a zone corner in that situation to do. Big cushion, balls in the air, close ground, make the tackle. You're going to give up a few yards. You gave up, 6 yards there, but that's not the point. The point is to not give up a play after the catch.
Tolbert and Hester in the backfield with Rivers. Clock moving through 35 and counting first half. Rivers from the gun. Caught. Malcolm Floyd sliding down across the 35. Darrell Washington chasing around number 80.
That time Peterson was in man coverage. And watch how fast this ball comes out of Phillip Rivers' hands. He looks, fires, and throws. Now, he got man coverage over there with Peterson, so there was a hole. But I'll tell you what, Vincent Jackson catches that ball, and Darrell Washington's flying at him inside out.
3rd and 2. Got some noise in the nest. Rivers over the middle. First down, San Diego. Hauled in by Brian Walters. Washington again, defensively for Arizona.
You don't see a lot of Cornell kids making plays in the NFL, I'll tell you.
Glenn, that's a whole different game, and I just mean academically. The Ivy League is a non-scholarship league.
That it is. Yeah, you don't. No athletic scholarships.
Very true. Thank you.
That's not to say that if you're not very good at a sport and have some grades, you can't get some help.
A recruiting pitch, I like it. First down for the Chargers. Rivers incomplete. Walters the intended target again. Darnell Dockett.
Now you think Walters saw anybody like Dockett at Cornell and much less in coverage on him?
No, that would be about 7 Ivy Leaguers smashed together to make up number 90.
I'll tell you, right about there where he realizes Dockett's covering him, he stops thinking so much about the ball coming and so much thinking about what am I going to do after I catch this thing.
Darnell Dockett, 3-time Pro Bowler. 2nd and 10. Rivers back to the air. Tolbert with the catch into Cardinal territory, lowers the shoulder and able to stretch for 4 more down near the 35. Rashad Johnson finally got Mike Tolbert to the turf. 20-yard reception. We're at the 2-minute warning here in Arizona. Welcome back inside University of Phoenix Stadium. Arizona leading San Diego 24-10. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson down on the field. Arizona Ford dealers would like to invite you to register for the Run One Back, Drive One Home sweepstakes. You could win a 2011 Ford F-150. For more information and to register, visit your local FordDealers.com. Rivers complete. Floyd again. A.J. Jefferson trying to cover Malcolm Floyd.
You get a real appreciation for the strength of Phillip Rivers' arms. Deep out, over a linebacker in front of that corner. That's why he is who he is. That throw from that hash over to that spot is a long way to go, and that ball was on a rope.
First down from the Cardinal 25. Rivers steps into another one, caught down at the 10. Vincent Jackson hauls it in. Rashad Johnson, 3rd-year man from Alabama with the coverage for Arizona. 1 to Floyd, 1 to Jackson.
And now Phillip Rivers has the space to step up between his center and his guard and catch that crossing pattern over the middle. Now, it'll be interesting to see as the game progresses how much more pressure or extra man that Ray Horton decides to bring.
First down and 10. Chargers can get a first down without scoring. Rivers under pressure throws incomplete. Richard Marshall brought the pressure.
Yeah.
Glenn, you were saying?
Yeah. Ray Horton decided, you know what? I'm going to bring extra guys, and what he does is he brings a safety and he brings a corner. And if you'll take a look here, it's going to come in from the right side, right through there, and actually another one right out here. One gets picked up, one does not. Look at that. Marshall coming free and clean right in his face. That's a win.
2nd and 10 at the 11. Holbert the lone back. He'll get the carry. Finding room, spinning his way down near the 3. He is a load.
Yeah. And it's not just that he's big. He's got enough low center of gravity, but enough explosion to make it very tough to tackle him. You know, a big slow guy is easy to tackle, but a big explosive guy is a real different deal. And Tolbert, man, he is thick.
3rd down. Rivers relaying signals. Crowd making it tough on 17. Rivers to the end zone. Touchdown. Malcolm Floyd. He beat A.J. Jefferson. And Rivers likes it.
So it's a battle out here, isn't it? Going back and forth. Kind of exciting.
Well, Rivers throws the pick six, and I think at that point he got a little ornery. Thought, you know what, I'm not giving one away. It's preseason week number 3. This may not be the start of the regular season, but this means something. We need to show what we're made of out here tonight.
Yeah, he didn't look good for the first few drives.
No.
Balls were tipped. He was off balance. He was getting pressured. He's come back nicely. He's thrown the ball well. He's thrown to his spots. He's led nice drives using his arm. Because really, in reality, they're not running the ball spectacular in a spectacular fashion. They're doing some things to make the run game click. So,
and he'll always be, tied to Eli Manning and the whole draft and the rest of it, and how he ended up in San Diego and just put together a really nice career. And certainly not, he wouldn't be your ideal camp counselor. This is how you throw the football when you're 9 years old. But boy, is he effective and accurate.
So much goes into, I think we can overanalyze how a guy throws the ball.
Sure.
You really got to look at the person, who he is, and that's what they did with him. Is he's accurate and he threw it odd, but in reality, was he a good enough person we could overcome the way he threw the ball? And they certainly thought so, and he's proven to be a good pro. The problem is when you get a guy who does that and then he's a head case beyond, and we've seen those guys in the past in the NFL as well.
Right. The interesting thing when I watch Rivers throw is you look, he's 6'5", yet his release point is so low that you think, boy, wouldn't you be better off if you had it up higher? But it hasn't affected him in his NFL career. I mean, 4,700 yards a year ago, you're doing a lot right.
He has a very quick release, not unlike, remember, Dan Marino was very similar to the way he got rid of the ball.
Max Tomar to bring it out. Tomar on the return, gets it across the 15, second-year man out of Idaho. Gives us an opportunity to let you know this is an exclusive presentation of the National Football League and the Arizona Cardinals Football Club. Any reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the images and descriptions of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Arizona Cardinals is prohibited. "20 seconds to go in the first half. Arizona leading San Diego by a touchdown. Wells will get the carry, and Beanie out of the first wave, and then stopped right near the 25. Eric Weddle with the tackle. And the Cardinals content to let time expire in the first half.
Well, content because they played good defense, scored a lot of points, did kind of a complete game. Is it a great game? No. But a lot of things they needed to work on, they got done, and they've done a nice job with them in one half of football.
Preseason week number 3, extended time tonight for the Cardinal starters. And here's Jody with Arizona's head coach.
All right, Coach, some big plays on offense. How good was it to see that?
It was good to see. We missed some things early in the game, and that's characteristic of still working on some things, but it was nice to see us connect on the big play to Larry. The reverse was nice. We're doing some good things. We just got to continue to clean up our mistakes.
Chargers an explosive offense, but some good pressure on Rivers. One resulted in the pick by Peterson. How important was the pressure tonight?
It was good. We got to do a better job of getting off the field there at the end of the first half, and this will be a good test for us to be able to come back out with our defense because they get the ball and see if we can stop them. But once again, we're making mistakes. They attacked the young guy a little bit, which he's still learning the position, but I'm pleased with the effort.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, first half in the books here between the Cardinals and the Chargers. Some mistakes on defense. Overall, though, some big plays both on offense and on D. Here's the rookie Patrick Peterson showing off his ball hawking skills.
Welcome back to University of Phoenix Stadium, getting ready for the start of the third quarter of action. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker. Jody Jackson down on the sideline, and she had the perfect view for these highlights in the first 30 minutes.
Oh, and highlights they are. Get it started right away. Find Larry Fitzgerald. Let him run after the catch. How about Beanie Wells? What do we say? You got to get Beanie Wells involved, and he's got to get physical. Did he ever? Got to like the direction the offense was going early. And then, of course, Kevin Cobb's got a target. He loves them. And that's back to Larry, wide open. Get your points. Now you got to set your defense up. Now your defense can make hay. A lot of early pressure. forced errant throws, tipped passes, and Patrick Peterson, the rookie, coming up big with a pick six early on. Exciting if you're a Cardinals fan, what you're seeing early on from this team. And then, don't forget, this little razzle-dazzle, a little showmanship out of the offense to make the rest of the teams that you're going to be facing the next few weeks start thinking. Andre Roberts with a nice reverse for the touchdown. Good blocking out front. Exciting first half by the Cardinals.
Exciting for everyone. Sisters enjoying a fine night of football action here at University of Phoenix Stadium. Kevin Cobb, acquired by a trade from Philadelphia. 19 starts in his career, was a starter for the Eagles a year ago until knocked out for concussion, and then Michael Vick took the job and allowed Cobb to end up in Arizona. Goodman with the return for the Chargers. Goodman gets bounced down, looked like he ran into one of his own men just across the 15. We'll welcome you back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Chargers get the ball to start the second half, trailing by 7. And now the question comes in, how long in the second half do the starters play?
Well, I think that'll be dependent on how well they play. And you're going to see what Ray Horton does. Does he put man? Does he do a combo coverage? Does he, what coverage does he come up with? And what does the coach see out of his defense? If it's enough, after 1 or 2 series, he lets him go.
Ryan Matthews on first down, runs into Darnell Dockett. Phillip Rivers out of North Carolina State, 8th season in the NFL. Their offense played the entire first half a week ago against Dallas. It was a Sunday night game. They actually went down to Lone Star State a couple days early and did a couple days worth of scrimmages against the Cowboys. Matthews trying to get to the outside, stiff arms Washington, and Washington finally gets back to him, and then he's going to get the late flag. Put his hands up as if to say, I didn't do it, but at that point, Matthews a little too far out of bounds.
Well, they're shoving and pushing and hitting. That last little bit is what he gets called for. And then insult to injury, slides on the Teflon coating over there. It's just a little exuberance, the exuberance of youth. He took a shot to the face because that's how Matthews runs with a stiff arm, and you get upset, and you take a shot back, and you get yourself a little something. And look at that, they waved it off. And of course, what did we say? Right at the very end, right as he was going out of bounds. You wonder what one guy saw and one guy didn't.
Well, what you say is, if you're a Cardinal fan right now, is you're a big fan of Pete Morelli.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you know what? I like the fact they waved that off because it wasn't egregious. It wasn't a huge hit that was designed to hurt. It was a little shove, and they had been doing it from 20 yards out all the way to that point.
3rd down and 4. Coach Wisenhunt told Jody before he headed in the locker room that it'd be a good challenge to start the second half, whether or not his defense would come out and stop the Chargers. And on 3rd down, ball is batted away. Vincent Jackson was the target. A.J. Jefferson makes the play.
Well, I said in the first half, this kid's really shown up a lot in the preseason. And there he is. The ball's there. He makes a great break on it and breaks up the pass. Take a look here. You'll see him be off to our left. Watch him come into the picture. That's because he got a great break on the ball. He backpedaled, kept his little bit of cushion that he had, and kept his eyes in the backfield. So when the ball's in the air, he makes a break on it, and he's there before the ball gets there.
Cypher's 3rd punt. Peterson back deep for Arizona, and this is a rocket. And all the way back to the 13, he'll have some room. Flag down. Peterson cuts it up, another flag down. Patrick down at the 30. 2 flags back at the 22. Notice Mouton with the special teams tackle, 65-yard punt.
You're going to punt that far. It's hard to hold blocks. You tend to grab a little bit. We'll see what this infraction is.
There are 2 fouls on the play by the receiving team. Illegal block in the back, number 18. That penalty will be declined. Holding during the return, during the kick, number 52. That penalty will be accepted, 10 yards, first down.
Let's see if we can see it here. I don't see where the hold was on that, but you know, when you go 65 yards with a punt, you're really trying to hold blocks, and if you're not holding, maybe you're chasing. So I think when in the one you're chasing, so you get a block in the back, and the other you're holding because you're so far downfield, you're thinking, when's the ball going to get back to me?
So Williams escapes. Cyril Obiazor gets his penalty counts. First possession of the second half offensively for the Cardinals. 13:36 to go, third quarter. Kevin Cobb out in the huddle for Arizona. Number 4 buckles up his chin strap, ready to go to work. Wells will be the deep back. Keep in motion. More flags.
Of offense. Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
False start against the Cardinals. That'll back them up even more.
And that's the type of thing that drives a coach to distract you. You're in the most important of the preseason games. You know, we've told you, hey, here you come. We're going to play a little more this week. And you get a penalty on a special teams on your first offensive series that pushes you back. And then your very first play, you can't even get the snap off. Drive you nuts.
Sherman, the fullback. Wells with the carry across the 5 up near the 7. Legit, the rookie first-round draft pick, with another tackle for San Diego. Beanie Wells, we talked about, former first-round pick. He had 11 carries, 44 yards a week ago, 9 for 43 tonight. Your thoughts?
I like what I've seen. I'd like to try to get the ball in his hands some more. And in a regular game situation, you're going to take your shots to Larry, you're going to take your shots to early Doucette, but you want to get this guy maybe 25 carries a game if he can.
Cobb buys a little time.
Without changing who you are. And that's the key. You can't change who you are just because you got a back who wants the ball that often.
Roberts with the catch.
Oh, you see, protection's pretty good. Beanie Wells gives up just a little pressure. You see, that's what you talk about moving in the phone booth.
Sure.
Cobb doesn't take off running. He doesn't scramble out of the pocket. He steps forward, off to his left, gives a soft shoulder, and finds someone open.
To finish up your point on Beanie and the 20 to 25 carries, is part of that due to the fact of his size, 6'2", 230, and that he could wear a defense down physically?
Absolutely, and that's what you would hope. You would hope he'd run with power and strike people.
On 3rd and short, Doucette had it for a moment, and then Weddle broke it up. Flag comes in.
I think they're going to try it. Maybe either say helmet to helmet or a defenseless, so I don't know what they're calling.
Well, they're huddling right now and give us an opportunity. There are certain points of emphasis.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 32. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Are they saying maybe he launched himself? We'll get a look at it here right in the middle of the screen. He did hit his head with his shoulder. Get another look right at the. I would think that, you know, that will probably not result in any fine. Eric Weddle was a good clean hit there. Used his shoulder, hit Larry Doucette in the chest. I'm not quite sure what they saw.
Well, it's
moving fast though. It's hard to do it.
And that's the point. Is that, you know, they're trying to do everything to protect injuries to the head, and such emphasis placed on concussions, and rightfully so. That it's been the conversation that people like you had played that said this moves so fast. You know, are we legislating intent? Are we calling fouls on what actually happened? And that was, you know, that one right there, bang bang. But certain point of emphasis is here's a little emphasis from Beanie Wells into Charger territory.
And I'll tell you what, all you have to do to fix it though is wrap up and not use your shoulder. Watch this. This you're going to get blocks down, and pulls around, and you'll get a nice seam, or as Vince Lombardi used to say, down the alley, right down the alley. And see what he does? He one cut, off he goes. Notice you can call it the crack, you can call it toss crack, you can call it bim. In reality, it's all the same.
26 yards for number 26, 10 carries, 65 yards for Beanie Wells. Cobb, play action on first down. Kevin runs out of time and hits the turf.
Well, he was looking for early Doucette, but really good deep coverage by San Diego. They had two safeties and a corner back there.
Von Martin with the sack.
You take a look. Here's early Doucette. You can see there's nowhere to go with that ball for Kevin Cobb, and he just had to eat it. Unfortunate for an offensive lineman, you're sitting there thinking that ball's gone, and now you've given up a sack.
Rod Stevens howling is the back. 2nd and 16 following the sack. Todd Heap in motion. Cobb, quick drop. Catch made by Stephen Williams. He beats Antoine Cason, and Stephen Williams in that battle for a receiver spot picks up 22 for Arizona.
Yeah, and Smart doesn't just lie there, gets up afterwards, but you take a look here. Down he goes. He is untouched. He's up and he's moving. He's fighting for that spot, as you said. There's a lot of wide receivers on this roster right now. All of them fighting for one of those final 53 spots.
And there's a lot of Stephen Williams, 6'5", the tallest Cardinals receiver. Sherman, the fullback. Rod Stevens howling, a little change of pace. Able to churn his way down near the 25. Flag comes in. Penalty flag at the 32. Darrell Gamble, the rookie out of Georgia, with the tackle for San Diego.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 72. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Now interesting.
Brandon Keith called for the infraction, right tackle for the Cardinals.
Well, you take a look, you're looking at that fight for 53 here, and the wide receivers, you got Stephen Williams, you got Isaiah Williams, DeMarco Sampson, the rookie, who's a little hurt tonight, Max Comar. That's a lot of talent right there, but you know they're only probably going to keep 2 of those 4 guys, and they're probably, every one of those guys has to come out and make a statement. And so far, Stephen Williams trying to do that tonight.
Cobb setting up the screen. Wells dropped it.
Forgot the most important thing, and that's the ball. But, you know, going back, all of those wide receivers we just saw on that graphic, all of them have made plays. All of them have had very good preseason. So the ones that don't make it, odds are they get picked up somewhere because they've all shown up. They've all been a part of this offense in the preseason.
Williams has a pair of touchdowns rather in the preseason. Second down and 20. Heap in motion. Wells the back. Chargers bring pressure. Cobb gets it away quickly. Roberts with the catch and out of bounds at the 30. Quentin Jammer forced him out of bounds on the sideline.
And you like the decision by Cobb. Real quick out to Andre Roberts. You're not trying to get all 20, you're just trying to get some of it back. Because Andre Roberts does such a good job of looking the ball in and turning, he gets himself four extra yards. Now you're at least manageable on your third down here, and you might be in position for a long field goal if you have to.
3rd and 10. Approaching 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Preseason game number 3. Doucette goes into the slot. Cobb with pressure, hit and sacked. Second time Cobb has gone down. Antoine Barnes, 5th-year man, with the sack for San Diego and a pair of penalty markers down.
Well, it was a jailbreak. There were guys running everywhere in the backfield, so.
Brandon Keith called again. This one declined.
Brandon is too good an athlete. If he focuses and moves his feet the way he's capable of, he never has to have a penalty on him. He could be that good. Ben Graham on to punt for Arizona.
Walters, the rookie back for the Chargers. Catch called for and made. Near the 10. Chargers will have the football when we come back. They trail Arizona by 7. 8:32 to go in the third quarter. Arizona leading San Diego by a touchdown. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Take a look at our Toro ground stats. Toro, count on it.
Count on it. 10 carries, 63 yards. Beanie, hold the phone.
Well, you kept referencing that you like him when he makes one cut and goes, and that's just what Matthews did right here. One cut, and he is into Cardinal territory, all the way down near the 45. A.J. Jefferson, one Fresno State graduate to another, chases down Ryan Matthews.
Well, take a look. David Carter, there's the natural cut is at the nose. The center and right guard got a really nice combo block on Carter, and that got to the second level. So when Matthews makes the one cut and goes, there's no one on the backside to make the tackle.
And they're going to call a horse collar tackle as well on Jefferson, and that'll give more yardage to the Chargers. Matthews will get 48 yards on the run. And his former teammate at Fresno State, A.J. Jefferson, called for the horse collar tackle. Mike Tolbert into the backfield. Matthews getting a breather. First down, San Diego at Arizona's 28. Rivers, quick pitch to Jackson. Wrapped up just across the 25. A.J. Jefferson with the stop, and there is just no mercy in the NFL. They'll go right back at you.
Absolutely you will. And what do they do there? Run smoke. He looks over and he sees Jefferson in zone with about a 10-yard cushion. All he does is step up, throw that ball, and see what you can get. They get 5. Credit Jefferson, exactly what you have to do. When that ball's in the air, you close ground, you break on it, and you wrap up.
Matthews back in, trying to find a little room in the pile. Get it down across the 20. Hamza Abdullah. He's had a busy preseason. Jody had talked about earlier. Go out, visit the White House, President Obama, and the fight for 53. Look at the cornerbacks.
Yeah, and with Toller, Greg Toller going out tonight, that just, you look, there's a lot of quality there. Peterson, the rookie, obviously is there, but Adams, Jefferson, Marshall, Green, all guys fighting for just a few spots.
Gives to the up back, Hester, on third down and short, and the Chargers move the ball near the 15. First down, San Diego. Jacob Hester, fourth-year player out of LSU.
And Jefferson, who we said have showed up so much, he had a penalty, sure, on that tackle, but he was trying to save a touchdown. Other than that, he's played a very, very solid game, and I don't fault him for a horse collar. Hey, you're going to do that when you're trying to save a touchdown.
Well, he's grabbing anywhere he can. Matthews is off to the races. Matthews, the deep back in the eye. Rivers, play action on first down, looking toward the end zone. Incomplete. Malcolm Floyd had it, went out of bounds a couple yards shy of the final stripe. Floyd able to keep his feet, as you call it, on the Teflon over there, but
well, I don't even know what that stuff is, but it's slick. You take a look at the replay here. Rivers with a little play action, got his head around quick, and Peterson on the coverage. Actually, not too bad a job on the coverage because he forces this ball wider because he's tighter.
Second and 10 off the incompletion.
He might go right back against Peterson again, trying to pick on him.
Matched up on Malcolm Floyd. They'll go to the ground. Tolbert spins his way for a couple. Stuart Bradley, fifth-year man from Nebraska.
And here's what Coach Wisenhunt was saying at halftime. You'd like to see him get off the field. You'd like to see him at this part right here. It's third down. It's third and a good chunk of change. Can they get off the field, or can they force the field goal or get a turnover and get out of this?
You just look at defensive coordinator Ray Horton, how big it is when you go back and examine a game when you can make people settle for 3 instead of giving up 7. It's oftentimes a difference maker.
That's right.
Third and 7. The Nest making some noise. movement. Rivers pointing at the Cardinals. Cardinals pointing at Rivers in the Chargers line.
Start. Number 68.
What
Offense,
Rivers is
5-yard
trying to
penalty.
say is that
Still third down.
the movement by the Cardinals caused it, but they did not get into the neutral zone, which therefore would
Chris Dielman.
take a look. Now see, Carter never got, Eason never got into the neutral zone, and because of that, you can't use that argument that he came across and forced me to jump. A lot of penalties so far between these two teams.
3rd and 7 now gets turned into 3rd down and 12 following the penalty. Cardinals rush 4. Rivers to the end zone. Dive, incomplete. Floyd had it for a moment, couldn't hold it.
Nice throw by Rivers, I'll tell you. Floyd wishes he had come up with it, but Rivers really puts this on a rope right where it's got to be. That's a big-time quarterback, big-time throw. And he knows he threw a good one.
About the only spot he could have put it. That was a beauty. Kading on to try to close the gap. 7 down to 4. 36-yard attempt. And Kading bangs it through the uprights. 5:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Cardinals leading the Chargers by 4. 54th consecutive sellout at University of Phoenix Stadium. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. 5:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Cardinals and the Chargers. Enter St. Joseph's Health and Wealth Raffle, and you could win one of over 4,000 prizes, including a road trip with the Cardinals. Don't miss out. Enter today at healthwealthraffle.org.
I love road trips.
Hey, you're a free spirit. You like to. You don't want to be hemmed in by a cubicle. You
You
want to get
are-
out there and see some of the country.
You got it.
Take a back road. Low bouncing kick. Will be fielded by Max Komar and downed. Back with more of preseason game number 3 from Arizona in a moment. Cardinals leading the Chargers 24-20. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. 5:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Glenn, what do you have to tell us?
Hey, I got to, you got to ask for the Cardinals unlimited combo and get a large unlimited toppings Papa John pizza and a 2-liter bottle of Coke for just $10.99. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Well done. Bartell, the quarterback, and his first play is a handoff to Rod Stevens-Howling, and he is. This will be interesting to see how it shakes out. The Rod Stevens-Howling, outstanding kick returner a year ago. He may get some more time in the backfield this year.
Absolutely. You're going to get combo blocks right here up and a block out. That gives you the seam for him to come straight through. Tell you what, important with your offensive line and keeping continuity. And we really can't, we've overlooked to this point how important the signing of Lyle Sendeline was to begin camp.
Yes.
Getting him back in the fold, the guy who is your quarterback on the offensive line, the guy that makes your calls for you, the guy that is the glue between your guards and your tackles. It's huge. It's hugely important, and every bit as important as other signings that went really well noticed, how important it is to get your center back in the fold.
Why is it when you re-sign one of your own that nobody looks at it as though you've done anything as a front office or a staff? Why is it the general public assumes that, well, it's an automatic, he's already his guy, but there's competition out there.
A guy like Fitzgerald, it makes a splash because you just don't want to lose him, but it's not a sexy re-signing when you sign your center. But it's every bit as important for the team you're building and what you're trying to do. There's big Lyle.
You called it the glue. I mean, you called it somebody who had been a winner, won a national championship in Texas. I mean, he's been there. He knows how to get things done. And, the O-line get ignored for so much of it. But when you sometimes see a team that misses one piece of those 5 that doesn't function together, it's amazing how big the drop-off can be.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you're talking about Lyle, you know, you're talking about a guy from Texas, but he's not. He's a local kid. Chaparral High. He went to Texas, played well there, came back home, and has been an integral part of this offensive line for a few years now.
Chancey Stuckey with the catch, and Stuckey, there's another interesting guy. You know, Stuckey, 6th year, played the Jets, then went to the Browns as part of the Braylon Edwards deal, and we haven't heard a lot about him in the preseason, but he's shown what he can do. This is his 6th year in the NFL.
Yeah, and he's when you look at him, he's kind of a rangy-looking guy out there, you know. But all the starting offensive line still in, protected for Bartell.
Bartell in his 3rd year, play action. Receiver open, caught inside Charger territory. Jim Dre, 2nd-year man from Stanford, among a very deep position for Arizona at the tight end spot.
You run naked, watch Bartell's head get around. That's so important. You'll watch that at the college level, and a college quarterback's head will look sideways. Look at his head. He gets it around and his eyes downfield immediately. If you got to snap, when you run play action, when you run naked especially, you got to get your head around, find your receiver, and get it out of your hand before you take a shot.
Rod Stevens-Howling looking off of the hip of Anthony Sherman, the fullback, has to duck down. Would there be any concern of how many carries you would give Stevens-Howling from the running back spot this year? Would there be any concern about that might wear him out from the kickoff return position? Because he was the NFL's best a year ago.
Yeah, I don't think so, no, because he'll be fine on the kickoffs, but you've got other guys that can do kickoff. If you need him that badly, where you're using him a lot in 3rd down and runs, you'll spell him with somebody else on a kickoff. And remember, he's a 3rd down back. He's not going to be an every down back.
San Diego, first team timeout.
San Diego calls a timeout. We'll step aside. 1:29 to go, 3rd quarter, preseason game number 3. Welcome back inside University of Phoenix Stadium. Arizona leading San Diego 24-20. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson. Enjoy a taste of Italy with homemade pasta at Verona at Lone Butte, located off the Santan 202 and Kyrene. Second down and 8. Bartell in the shotgun. Pitch, Williams with the catch, and he gets upended. Isaiah Williams took a shot. John Skelton out of action tonight, wearing the protective boot. And we could see last week in Green Bay when that one got rolled up on that was more than just a little tweak, officially a high ankle sprain. And then just to his left there, a new signee this week, Brody Croyle.
How about John Skelton, 6'6", 244 quarterback out of Fordham. Now, you know, Fordham was home to the blocks of granite.
Back in the day.
Back in the
You're
day.
going way back.
And I don't think any of those blocks of granite that were linemen were 6'6", 240. And he's a quarterback.
I bet you are correct. And Stephen Williams pulls it in. We may have to do a little more research on that and circle back on Thursday when the Broncos are in town. Blocks of granite, but you're right. I mean, you think of that. 6'6", 244 at the quarterback spot.
Yeah. There's a reason you liked him when you saw him on tape. You walk down at you go in the weight room and you look at this kid, you're like, whoa, that's a quarterback? Might have to bring him in, see what we can do.
Richard Bartell will go to the sideline. Cardinals will let time run off the clock and get us to the end of the 3rd quarter.
That is the end
15
of the
minutes
quarter.
of football remaining in preseason game number 3 from Arizona. Beanie Wells with a big night. This is a 26-yard run back at the start of the 4th. Start of the 4th quarter. Arizona 24, San Diego 20. Adrian Wilson has a torn bicep tendon, but he was out in pads before the game, thinking that maybe he can go when Carolina comes into town to start the regular season, but he'll leave that up to the coaches and trainers.
Yeah, you know what it means, though. Just think what that means to a team. A guy who has an injury that a lot of guys would get surgery on and miss the whole year, he's out there in warm-ups thinking, I'm ready to go. That's a leader. That's a tough guy. Tell you what, that's a guy that you have in your locker room that everybody's looking at. And and trying to emulate. That's a good thing to have around. I'll tell you, Adrian Wilson, what a stud out there practicing before the game.
Difference maker.
Absolutely.
Difference maker on the defensive side of the ball. Larry Fitzgerald on the offensive side of the ball. And those aren't just the only two guys, but back to the point of your best players, your big-time players with the great attitude, moving everybody on the team forward. A lot to like about this Cardinal team. On second down, Allen gets the corner and gets shoved out of bounds, but he'll have first down yardage for Arizona. Darryl Stuckey, second-year man from Kansas, got him out of bounds, but look at the wheels on number 36.
Stephen Williams, wide out this side. He's the guy that sets the corner. And you take a look, you know, you're going to get running, but the main thing is watch out here, Stephen Williams. You're going to get a corner, you're going to get that edge, obviously, with your tight end on the hook. But now watch Stephen Williams come in from your right side right there. Sets the corner for you. When you do that, I'll tell you what, you got wide receivers setting the pace, like on the reverse for a touchdown. You had Larry Fitzgerald do it. I'll tell you what, you're in for a
False start.
long season playing against
Number
a team
75
like that.
offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
False start will back him up 5. See the numbers, 6 for 40. 11th play of the drive coming up.
DBs don't want to tackle, see. So when you watch film on Arizona Cardinals now and you're looking at Larry Fitzgerald blocking, and you're looking at Stephen Williams blocking, you're like, all right, now half the time they're going to be running a running back at me and one of these guys is going to be hitting me. They don't like to tackle. DBs, not one of them likes it. They'll do it, but they don't like it.
First and goal at the 15. Littell buys a little time, throws down near the 5. Sliding catch made. Steven Spock, your man out of Fresno State. Spock, one of those players on this Cardinal team that's got a little edge to him, always kind of grabbing, pulling, clutching, and bumping the opposition.
Well, Bartell does a nice job just stepping up enough to get himself a lane to throw. And Spock, you know, hey, there's a reason he's been around 6 years. He fights. He'll do what it takes to get himself on that roster.
Bartell, perfect, 5 for 5. Gray, the tight end, in motion. Bartell looking that way. Off the hands of Spock and out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Obviously a comfort situation here. Bartell eyes him up all the way. Unfortunately, Spock slips just a little bit. The ball goes high. But how about Chancey Stuckey? Guy's got his eye on the ball the whole time. That's a wide receiver for you. Ball's not thrown to him. Ball's up in the air, and he finds it like a catcher running under it.
3rd and goal. Bartell with time. Pass is caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Larod Stevens Howling out of the backfield.
Now you got an option route. Finds leverage on that backer. Stephen Cooper had no chance against Larod Stevens Howling out of the backfield.
That's got to feel good for Bartell, who put together a really nice drive last week against Green Bay and then just had a brain cramp and threw an interception, and got to feel good about that. Now I got another chance to get back out there and I can finish a drive.
Absolutely. And, you know, he admitted as much. He admitted no matter how good you do, if you slip up once, you're in trouble. Has to feel good for him.
Thumbs up for Bartell and the offense. They stretch the lead 31-20. 12:33 to go. Back to football in the nest. University of Phoenix Stadium. Another sellout crowd, 54th straight. Rod Stevens Howling with the touchdown reception. And with that, Wells Fargo donates $500 to the Team Up for Schools Fund, which donates money to local public schools. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. Have a look at the TD.
Well, Stevens Howling now in the backfield. It's called an option route. He can go either way on that backer, depending on the backer's leverage. So Rod Stevens Howling makes a great decision, takes it right where there was a soft spot, and hey, Bartell finds it.
And Walters back deep. Thiele. Big leg drives it out of the back of the end zone. There's a smile from the Cardinals kicker. He's also made a tackle tonight. Chargers ball at the 20 when we come back. Arizona with a 31-20 lead over San Diego. Preseason game number 3. Cardinals scoring drive was powered by Santan Ford. Santan Ford and the Arizona Cardinals. We do this together. 13 plays, 80 yards, 7-28. Taken off the clock. New quarterback, San Diego, is the backup Billy Volek. Volek on first down. Throws complete. Pass hauled in to Richard Goodman, and Jody's with the man who knows how to reel in a pass or two.
Yes, alongside Larry Fitzgerald. And Larry, first of all, you get into the end zone tonight, 80-yard pass play. How much progression has there been between you and Kevin Cobb and just as an offense?
Every day gets better, and Kevin's getting more confident with us. We're getting more confident with him, and that's built over repetition. And he does a really good job. He's a football fanatic. I mean, texting me today before I got to the stadium, hey, if we get this look, we're going to try this. And that's just the kind of guy he is. He's a real football guy, and I'm excited to have him here.
1 week ago, you signed an 8-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals, your 3rd contract. What does it mean for you to say you're going to retire a Cardinal?
Well, it's great to be here. It's great to be wanted, and I get to stay in the same place, finishing my career. That's truly an honor. So I'm blessed and fortunate to be here and be a Cardinal, and I'm really excited about it.
Take me through last Saturday night a little bit. Michael Bidwell shared a story on the pregame show that you wanted to get it done. You wanted to meet with the media because you had plans that night involving some teammates and the young rookie Ryan Williams, who had just been injured the night before. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we were all going as a unit to watch Chris Tucker's comedy show, and we wanted to make sure Ryan was going to be there with us. I know it's a tough time for him, being injured at 21, looking so promising through training camp, and I know we all sympathize for him, and we just want him to know that we're all going to be here and support him, through this time and his rehabilitation.
And it was not only offensive players but defensive. Your role as a leader, how important is that on this team?
Well, we have so many new guys here this year. You look down the roster, we got 40, 50 new guys that haven't even played with us. So it's important for the leaders on the team to get guys together and make sure that we're getting to know each other, because we're going to need it come Sundays.
All right, Larry, thanks so much.
Thank you, Jody. Hey, Jody was down there giving legal benefits to the kids in Miami, too, so you guys better watch out for her.
Oh, come on. That's truly spoken like a Pitt Panther. It's still the Big East rivalry. Hey, nice block on that reverse, by the way.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
I love it. The man from Pitt giving the woman from the U a hard time. Oh, that's perfect.
Never leaves you, my friend. College rivalries stick with you no matter how well you do at the next level. Those rivalries stick with you.
Great. Volek and the Chargers putting together a drive here. First down. Volek buys himself a little time, goes over the middle, and they're into Arizona territory. Down near the 45. Vincent Brown with the catch. Rookie 3rd-round selection out of San Diego State. Look at Billy Volek, 35 years old now.
You take a look at O'Brien Schofield. He doesn't slide here. He's putting a hurting on Billy Volek. So this is the time you want to look now. O'Brien Schofield, Stuart Bradley, maybe start looking at some of the guys, how they're going to get to that next level and what they're going to, because these guys are going to be expected to play a lot for you. A lot of the guys out on that field right now.
Volek on first down. Brown dives incomplete. Vincent can't come up with it. 3rd-round pick. 3rd all-time receiver in the history of San Diego State. Brown, the first San Diego State Aztec drafted by the Chargers since 1974.
It's a long time ago. Of course, teammate with DeMarcus Hampson. And if you watched them play, different type of players, but really both very effective.
Todman with the carry on the ground. Here's a little bit of Larry Fitzgerald tonight.
What didn't he do? Catch, run after the catch. Just banging people, getting himself smoke, extra yardage, the touchdown play. And let's not forget blocking on the perimeter for the big time.
On the Roberts reverse. Absolutely, the big seal block.
You can make a highlight tape of him and say, kids, you want to be great? Look at all the little things he does besides catch the football. That's the important stuff.
Bullock on 3rd down and 6, incomplete, out of the backfield. The swing trying to get it to the tight end, Corey Sperry, 3rd-year man out of Colorado State. Sam Acho had the coverage. You finish up on Larry Fitzgerald. So many times you hear about wide receivers who are, they're divas. They're a little bit high maintenance. They seem to be in the news a lot, complaining about things that aren't going their way. You look at Ray Johnson down in Houston. You look at Larry Fitzgerald here in Arizona. I mean, they are about the opposite end of the spectrum from some of the other guys.
And it's why they're the best.
Yep.
It's why they're recognized as the best. There was a lot of hair in that last picture. Did you notice it? Between Dockett and Fitzgerald.
I'm not having any conversations with you regarding hair.
Not that I notice hair.
That one's
bitter, I'll tell you.
That one's.
Look at that. Holy cow.
Arizona football when we come back. 9:05 to go in the 4th. Welcome back inside the Bird's Nest, home of the Arizona Cardinals. They lead the Chargers 31-20. Not too late to be part of the action at University of Phoenix Stadium. Limited amount of Cardinals season tickets are still available for the 2011 season. To secure your seats, please call 602-379-0102, or you can always go to azcardinals.com. An exciting season of Cardinals football, and you're in a division where it's not like you're lumped in with the defending Super Bowl champs. You can grow and develop as a team, and you don't have to look at this division they're in right now, the NFC West, and say, boy, we'd have to win 12 or 13 games to win that division. You could get up there in, I would imagine, 10, 11 game range and probably have a pretty good shot at winning the division this year.
Yeah, I think that's true. And, you know, the thing is, there's no easy games in the NFL. But there are ways to look at your schedule where, like you just said, we don't have to win 13 to win it because our competition isn't going to win that many. But you do have to win the games you're supposed to win.
Right. Fumble. Ball on the turf. And the Chargers have it for a touchdown. William Powell recently joined the team, and there was the mix-up on the handoff. Darrell Gamble, the rookie from Georgia, gets the touchdown. Just squirts right through.
Yeah. That is a touchdown.
Yeah, well, Gamble gets it,
But no one touches him.
a little hop, half a yard. That'll be the easiest yard he ever makes in the NFL, and that'll tighten things up.
But going back what we were saying, we always say you got to win the games you're supposed to win. You got to win your conference games. You got to win your home games, and then you got to just steal a couple. You got to steal a couple games.
Absolutely.
You do that, you'll win 11 games. You'll win 12 games, and next thing you know, you're in the playoffs and you're doing well.
And in the last, handful of years, Clint, is there nothing these guys don't do?
It's a different world, I'll tell you.
They're going to have to, every scoring play this year is reviewed automatically upstairs by the officials, so they want to make sure they got this one correct and nobody touched Gamble. So as they take a little longer look, we'll step aside, come back with more. 8:15 to go in the ball game. $8:15 to go, fourth quarter. Arizona now sitting on 31-26. Darrell Gamble, the rookie from Georgia, fell on this muffed handoff exchange between Bartell and William Powell, who was just signed this week, and taking a look to see if ruling on the field is touchdown, whether or not anybody touched him before he got across the goal line. There he is, 53 jumping on it, and
Field stands. Touchdown.
you were saying you think that's a touchdown.
I thought it was
They're
a
just gonna
touchdown.
kick the PAT, right? Sure.
That's what I thought, but interesting. It's hard to tell whether he took his eye off the ball, whether he thought it was play action. I mean, we don't know whose fault it is because we don't know what the call is. So you really can't assign blame, but that little piece of pigskin is the most important thing out there.
Katie makes it 31-27. Bartell at the quarterback spot in relief of Kevin Cobb. They'll get the ball when we come back. Welcome back to our Ford broadcast booth, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson down on the field.
I didn't know who that good-looking guy was until.
You?
Yeah, wow. I shock myself sometimes.
He shock all of us from time to time. Katie to kick it away. Arizona will take a knee and we'll go downstairs. Here's Jody.
All right, alongside rookie cornerback Patrick Peterson. Patrick, interception for a touchdown tonight. We were just talking, and you did not have one of those in college, so how did it feel to get into the end zone?
It felt great. My first interception back home for the first time. My first NFL career interception for 6. I mean, it's a lot of firsts tonight, but it was a great opportunity for me, and many more to come.
Really excited tonight, were you, when you came into the building, first time with the fans in here?
Oh yeah, man, this place is unbelievable. You know, I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out September 11 when Carolina Panthers bring their team in here.
I know you go up against Larry Fitzgerald, but facing the Packers and now the Chargers and Greg Jennings and Vincent Jackson, how fast and furious is the learning process right now?
It's very fast. You know, due to the rookies not having the OTA, not having that extra time to prepare. But we're professionals now. We have to learn on the run. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a long season as well. But at the same time, I will definitely continue having fun.
I know camp's over, and I'm sure you're glad, but you did get to spend a lot of time in the dorm room with Adrian Wilson, Kerry Rhodes. What was that like, and were you able to learn things from them?
Oh, that was another great opportunity that was presented to me as well with those veteran safeties that have been here, done that. You know, Kerry first told me when I first got here, he said, just be with me, follow me everywhere. I work out with him. I work out with the vets in the morning, and he always tell me what I'm doing wrong and things I need to improve in. So Kerry's and Adrian are definitely a huge help into my process of becoming a star.
Finally, the transition to the NFL, what do you feel like you need to work on the most?
Just continue studying. Just continue studying and get the system down pat and go out there and continue making plays for this defense.
Thanks a lot, Patrick.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Jody. Well, Glenn, another example right there that the brain trust of the Arizona Cardinals puts a lot of stock in character.
Absolutely. You know, the thing is, you look at the amount of money invested in a young man when you draft him high. Well, you better understand all facets of that young man. And character is maybe a bigger part of it all than the simple raw talent, especially when you're talking about a lot of money in a kid's pocket. I tell you right now, it's a smart way to go about business, and you can tell when the young men like that speak and you see their work ethic, it pays off.
Well, Glenn, 12 years in the NFL for you, it's certainly no secret that you saw more than your fair share of guys with great talent who never maximized it.
Absolutely. You know, knuckleheads come in and they could lift the gym and sprint like crazy, but just never put the work in that was necessary to get to that next level.
Bartell going to wind up and throw it up near the sticks. John Jeffcoat, the rookie from Elon, makes the catch. Over 1,000 yards in college a season ago.
Great protection, a nice ball. There you go. Look at that cushion. Now, you want to know the difference? Did you see that cushion the DB gave him? That DB's back pedal wasn't very good. That wide receiver closed that cushion fast. You close a cushion down, now all of a sudden you can make a move and beat that guy. That was a good example of the differences in speed between two players.
Powell picks up the first down on 3rd and 1 and moves it to the 46.
Get a look here. Little color in the hole. He just makes one step, gets his cut, and gets forward. Listen, in that instance, you don't need 15 yards. You need your 3. Get the first down. Don't try to do more than we need you to do.
Under 5 minutes to go. Arizona leading San Diego 31-27. See Powell's numbers. Kansas State getting a look tonight. Certainly didn't start the way he wanted with the missed exchange, but running with some heart and energy right now for Arizona.
Well, yeah, he is. And you take a look at the fight for 53, look at the running back. Beanie Wells, Smith, Stevens Howling, Powell, just brought in, of course. Williams got himself, got injured. So how do you look? Well, Wells is right there, and Stevens Howland's your third down guy. Really now this battle comes down between Smith and Powell and what they can do. That's why you're seeing Powell get this opportunity. They got a chance to see Smith in Green Bay. They want to see what Powell can do out here.
And wouldn't be surprising to see, after cuts this week, somebody else's name added into that mix in the competition.
Not at all. Not at all. A lot of guys are going to become available on Tuesday, and you'll see a scramble to pick up talent from every team.
Get a little insight. Tuesday, the official day, but we've already seen some teams. Baltimore, for instance, already made cuts.
They already made their cuts. They got their third preseason game out of the way on Thursday. They made their cuts Friday. A lot of these cuts will be made on Monday because they'll go back, they'll watch the film tomorrow, they'll break it all down, and they'll start making the official decisions come Sunday night, Monday morning. And for a lot of kids, the dream's going to end, but for some of those kids, they're going to get that opportunity at another place from some of the film that they've shown in the first 3 games.
On 3rd down and 5, over the middle, incomplete. Davion Curry-Chapman, the intended target. Look at key dates in the fight for 53.
There you go. They'll cut down to 80, and then, of course, Thursday, Denver comes in, and Saturday they got to get the roster down. So, really, a week from today, the roster will be down. The Cardinals will have their team set for you. And you look at September 8th. That's the kickoff.
Thursday.
Get it going.
Thursday, Saints and the Packers, and then Sunday in full swing, back to football, and
Panthers coming in.
You got it, to the nest. Time for the SRP Power Performance, presented by SRP, delivering more than power.
Patrick Peterson, ball hawking, getting over there, showing the hands, showing the speed. Gotta love it. That's why you drafted him.
Good interview by Jody Jackson on the sideline as well, and talking about how welcoming the veterans were and how much they cared about helping him become the player he can be. Volek from his own end zone, chased and throws it. It's going to be incomplete. Ball hit the turf. Went right in the direction of Brian Walters, but Volek almost got sacked in the end zone.
There you get a look. Pressure coming, a great move to get pressure, and that it falls right in Pestog's lap. We talk to Terminators and Terminators. Sometimes guys are beneficiaries of somebody else making a good move. You go back to the rookies being welcomed by the vets. The only thing the vets welcomed me for was my wallet to buy them drinks and food out at restaurants during camp.
Is that really true? Pass complete to Vincent Brown, but did they have your best interest in mind as far as helping you?
Not at all.
No.
It was a different world.
Well,
20 years ago.
I've often wondered about that. It's how much time are you going to spend on somebody who very well may take your job?
May take your job now, and that's times have changed. Trust me.
Norv Turner, Phillip Rivers, 3rd down and 1. San Diego going to move the chains. Frank Summers out of UNLV with the carry.
Frank Summers in college, one of those backs that just what he did there. Hit the hole, go forward, 3-4 yards carrying people.
Oh, that's right.
That's who he was.
You've covered the Mountain West. Frank the Tank Summers. His time at UNLV. Jordan Todman, the rookie from Connecticut. And Todman and Sherman, the fullback for the Cardinals, teammates at UConn. Volek's pass is too high, incomplete. Went in the direction of Corey Sperry, the tight end. One of the most enjoyable parts as we get down to final preseason game and the start of the regular season is just to watch it all unfold. And the NFL now, and people have worked very hard to set it up this way, you really don't have your dominant team that you kind of know coming in that, boy, they'd really have to stub their toe or they'd be the odds-on favorite to really run the table and win a lot of their games. And so everybody has so much hope at the start of every season. And we've seen teams the last few years really just get hot and figure out a way to get into the playoffs and then win the whole thing.
That's right. And you know, the thing is, if you don't believe you can go to the Super Bowl, you won't get there.
That is.
Every
The 2-minute
team
warning.
right now believes they have what it takes. Even the ones that are realistic and say, we're not very good, but you know, we steal a couple games, we're going to get there. You have to believe that way.
Absolutely. 1:52 to go. We're at the 2-minute warning. Arizona holding on to a 31-27 lead. 412 yards of total offense for Arizona. 31 points on the board and a lead. And 1:52 to go in preseason game number 3. 3rd down and 10. Chargers have the ball. Rich Cellini, Glenn Parker, Jody Jackson on the Arizona Cardinals television network. Volek hit as he throws, floats it to midfield, incomplete.
Cyril getting after him. I'll tell you what, this is an up and under move. Bobby Osor. Oh, come up. Here he goes. You come up, threaten the outside, swim under, take a shot on Billy Volek.
Cardinals have some defensive players with good motors.
Yeah, and you know, motors and some wiggle too. You got a little wiggle and you got a motor, you're dangerous.
Defense needs one more play. 4th and 10. Volek gonna have to throw the little check down. Todman makes a move and picks up the 1st down. Todman, the Big East Player of the Year, 1,695 rush yards a season ago, shows how he got some of those yards on 4th down and 10.
Well, first, you leave your feet. You can't leave your feet. Marche Green figured that out. And a good job by Volek just keeping his head and finding a way to get the ball out of his hands.
Swinging out to Todman again. 1:12 on the clock.
Timeout.
And so
San Diego, second team timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
timeout taken by the Chargers. Todman and Anthony Sherman, that UConn backfield season ago. Norv Turner won a lot of games as the Chargers head coach. Very, probably, biggest claim to fame at the time that really got him known as the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. Really got a lot of acclaim, but has been, head coach for a number of different teams, Washington, Oakland, and it's been a great coordinator everywhere he's been, but he's always made the comment that I really want to be a successful head coach in this league, and it's a hard guy not to root for.
Yeah, the thing is this. There's not a lot of coaches that win Super Bowls.
Exactly.
And so you're automatically judged by whether you win a Super Bowl or not. Well, that doesn't mean you're not a good coach. He's done well with the talent he has. He just hasn't gotten over the hump.
2nd down and 6. Volek trying to rally the Chargers. Looking for a home run ball. Brown lays out, but he can't get to it. Vincent Brown had some separation and laid it out. Couldn't come up with it.
And here you go, coverage on it. It's Turner. Turn and run. He got, Vincent got past him.
Mm-hmm.
But the ball was just laid out too far.
3rd and 6. 1:06 on the clock.
You think you'd be very tired right now if you're a corner? Right back to it. I might give a real big cushion.
Cardinals are doing just that. Volek goes over the middle, and the catch is made down to the 36. Lauren Robinson, 5th-year man out of Illinois State with the catch. Chargers still in business. Thad Turner again on the coverage.
Well, they only have one timeout left, so you can give them, they can go down the middle of the field and use that timeout.
And the field goal does them no good. Flags, hold on. But this is the type of situation you want for both sides.
Absolutely. This is a teaching situation, something you can learn from. Now it is the last minute.
False start. False start, number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty. Number 70, by rule, under a minute with the game clock running requires a 10-second runoff. However, San Diego's elected to take a timeout, their third and final team timeout. Timeout, San Diego.
So there's your new rule in effect. You have a penalty, and rather than have 10 seconds run off the clock against them, as well as the 5 yards, they opt to have their last timeout taken away.
28 seconds.
There's the play before that that set up this problem. Billy Volek, that's a great grab by Robinson.
Now, Norv Turner came out and said he did not want the timeout. He wants to keep the timeout, and he'll take the 10-second runoff. So that gets us to 28 seconds to go in the game. And the clock moving. At the Cardinal 41. 1st and 15, a lot of time moving. Volek goes over the middle, tipped, bobbled and caught. Caught by Walters, and San Diego's going to have to call their timeout. And they just do with 2 seconds to go, and they'll have one shot into the end zone.
You do wonder what took them so long to call it, but here's the, see anybody getting pressure? Not a lot, ball down the middle. Oh, Marche Green right there, tipped it up. Trailing, coming underneath, takes a great angle on the ball, does everything you should do other than knock it down.
And Walters with the concentration of an Ivy Leaguer.
That's a Cornell University, that's a state school, you know.
Go Big Red, yeah. All right, so they did get the timeout. We wondered about that. So
it took them forever to get it out.
They got it with 8 seconds.
Oh,
so
I see.
They did get it sooner then, because the clock was still moving and they had stopped it at 2, but they got it with 8. First down, 8 seconds.
Possibly a couple of shots into the end zone.
Okay. But it has to be in the end zone because they're out of timeouts.
Yeah, and it's got to be fast.
And those left inside the nest are going to make some noise. Volek and the Chargers trying to win it at the end of regulation. Cardinals bring some pressure. Volek to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown San Diego. Brian Walters beat Marche Green.
Ray Horton brought the house. He brought everybody. Top of your screen. It's a little crossing route. Marche Green's got to get over and close that ground.
Volek and the Chargers converted on 4th down. The little dump down to Jordan Todman, who tacked on the run, Kading for the point after. And San Diego now leads 34-31. 3 seconds to go. If quarterback is your most important position on a football team, your backup quarterback throughout the course of a year almost is going, every time, is going to have to come in, either spell somebody for a game, a half a game, maybe a stretch. You see the value right there of somebody like a Billy Volek, who is not beat up, not like a David Carr who went out there and just got the stuffing knocked out of him in Houston for all those years without an offensive line. And it's a big priority for San Diego to get him re-signed.
Yeah, and he's been in the system a long time. He knows it well. And you can look back through time at teams that have had that, and it's that ace up your sleeve, is that long-time backup quarterback that knows the system.
Walters played well tonight. How about that? He focuses on the tip off the Marche Green pass and then holding in and got him right there within easy striking distance and catches the go-ahead touchdown. 12 plays, 90 yards. Schmidt. Low line drive kick. It's going to go out of bounds.
And you're going to get a chance at a play here.
Glenn. We both looked at each other.
He does not want to talk to a coach over there. He wants to avoid talking to an authority figure at this point.
That's the only thing they did not want you to do is kick the ball out of bounds.
Look,
now you get it to 40.
He's doing his best to avoid any authority figure. If he's smart, he does herd mentality. He gets in with the big group of people and hides.
Three seconds to go. Bartell, he's 6 of 7 for the night. Can he make it 7 of 8?
He's got the arm to put it out there.
3 receivers to the right. San Diego now sends a 4th person. They drop it down. Powell in the open field. And Powell will be ridden out of bounds, and that'll be the ball game here in Arizona. We'll come back to the Bird's Nest with some final thoughts. Good night, Kevin Cobb and the first string offense. Back with final thoughts after this.